Agent Zero Hibachi. No Chill Gil. Those are some of the many nicknames of one of the best scoring point guards in NBA history. A man who set the stage for guys like Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard with his deep three-point shooting. A man who helped create the many scoring point guards that we see today. However, due to controversy and injuries, his NBA career was halted, and a surefire Hall of Fame induction was destroyed. I'm, of course, talking about Gilbert Arenas, the elite and skilled scorer of the Washington Wizards in the 2000s, whose promising career could have placed him in the same mentions with the greatest players to play this game. Gilbert Arenas was drafted in the second round, 31st pick by the Golden State Warriors in 2001. He was a 6'4" guard with speed, agility, quickness, skill, and strength. He had crazy ball handling skills, an excellent post-up game, an explosive drive to the hoop, deep three-point shooting that could rival the shooting of today's players, and a natural ability to score the ball. He was a great passer, not much of a willing passer, but still great, and would shoot the ball sometimes as soon as he crossed half court. Not to mention his incredible clutch shot-making ability, much that was shown in the prime of his career. He was arrogant, cocky, and extremely confident, but he had all the skills to back it up. At the start of his Warriors tenure, though, Golden State had a guard-heavy roster, a roster in which didn't give Gil many opportunities to show those skills in his first season. Towards the second half of the season, though, he would gain more and more minutes, even starting in some games, showing his great shot-making ability. By his sophomore season, he was a full-on starting point guard for the Warriors, really demonstrating his knack for scoring, averaging 18 points, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals. The peak of the season in his time with the Warriors was when he dropped 41 on MJ's Wizards, with an incredible shooting of 15 for 23 from the field and 4 for 8 from deep, leading the Warriors to victory. He would go on to win Most Improved Player of the Year because of his production that season. The peak of his career, however, was not as a member of the Warriors, as the Wizards would sign him after that season, due to some issues within the collective bargaining agreement, where in Washington you would see the birth of a star. In the 03-04 season, Arenas showed much of the same skill set as he did the previous year, averaging 19 points and 5 assists, only playing 55 games. The best years for Agent Zero was just around the corner, though, as the next 3 years marked him as one of the best and most skilled players in the league. From 2005 to 2007, he will be selected to 3 straight All-Star teams and 3 straight All-NBAs, not accomplished by a Wizard since the 70s. In the 04-05 season, Gil averaged 25 points and led the Wizards to the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. It was a slow start, however, as the Wizards were down 0-2 to begin the series up against the Chicago Bulls. But with help of teammates Larry Hughes and Antoine Jamison, Gil led the Wizards to come back and win the series in 6, including Game 5, in which Gil hit the buzzer beater to win the game for Washington. This would be the first time the Wizards won a playoff series since 1982. The next season, Agent Zero bumped up his average to an incredible 29 points per game, the second highest average in a season in Wizards history. He once again led the Wizards to the playoffs, where they would face LeBron and the Cavs. In this series, he would average a ridiculous 34 points and was in a series duel against LeBron throughout. In Game 6 of the series, Agent Zero would hit a game-tying deep three-point shot to send it into overtime. Unfortunately, due to some mind games by LeBron on Gil and the game-winning shot by Damon Jones, the Wizards would lose and be eliminated. The 06-07 season might have been Gil's best years in terms of performance. Hibachi averaged 28 points and went on scoring rampages throughout the season. This included his career high and most famous game when he went to Staples Center and lit up Kobe and the Lakers, dropping 60 in an OT win, a Wizards franchise record held to this day. 4 games later, he would drop 54 against 2-time MVP Steve Nash and the Suns in another overtime win in Phoenix. He also hit a multitude of buzzer beaters that same year, starting against the Bucks, where he just pulls up, calmly hits the game-winning 3. Then against Utah with all-star guard Deron Williams guarding him, where he hits another clutch three to win the game, and this time capping off a 51-point night. The last buzzer beater came in Seattle, where he drove to the hoop with a floater to win it for Washington. Hibachi was on a tear that season, giving the whole NBA buckets. Unfortunately, this season would be the start of his downfall, as late in the year, he would tear his MCL, making him miss the postseason and majority of the next season. He would continue to have knee problems, and despite some rehabilitation, it seemed like Gil didn't take rehab seriously. Because of his knee injuries and rush to get back instead of steady rehab, Arenas only played 2 games in the 08-09 season. When he did play, he could still score, but his ability wasn't what it used to be. Then everything went from bad to worse, as Arenas was suspended from the team in 2009 due to bringing guns into the locker room and then being seen mocking the situation before a game in the huddle. He would come back the next year playing for the Wizards for 21 games, but after being replaced by rookie and future of the franchise John Wall, he would be traded to the Orlando Magic in the 2010-2011 season. He would play with Memphis the next year in 17 games, but by this time, his injuries made him look anything other than the all-star he once was. He would try out for the Lakers in 2012, but after another injury occurred while playing in China, the Lakers didn't pick him up, and Gilbert Arenas retired playing his last game with the Memphis Grizzlies that 2011-2012 season at age 30. An incredible peak with an even more promising future. There was a lot left on the table for the former star of the Washington Wizards. More All-Stars, All-NBAs to his name, more ridiculous scoring explosions, more postseason success for Washington, maybe even a member of the top 75 list. All of this did seem very much in reach for Agent Zero. He was truly ahead of his time. He did what point guards are doing now, scoring at a high volume and shooting further away from the arc. But for Gilbert Arenas, he is another what-if story. A what-if story due to his own flaws and injuries that derailed a potentially historical NBA career.